It's absolutely apptacular. The Subject Cinema Android app. Everything you need to be a rabid Subject Cinema fan. Subject Cinema, 3-Minute Weekend, Tuesday Digidex, and Front Row 5 and 10. All right at your fingertips and available instantly. Plus, email and voicemail links, Facebook and Twitter hookups, Patreon support specials, and more is coming real soon. Don't just listen, app it. The all-in-one Subject Cinema podcast app. Android version available now at Google Play or on PNR Network websites. Amazon and iPhone apps coming soon. Don't delay. Download today.
Blueberry. This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
On air, online, on now. From the hub of the universe, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, this is Subject Cinema, with your hosts, T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome TC and Kim.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Here we are again.
Yep, we are in Salem, Massachusetts.
Yep.
For the 2019 Salem Film Fest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm TC, of course.
And I'm Kim, of course.
It's different this year. They've changed the opening day from Thursday to Friday.
Yep.
So it's a little bit weird for us to be, not doing anything with the movies on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still...
But we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're very excited to be here.
It's supposed to be great weather this weekend for a change in the 60s, 50s and 60s, which is way better than it has been any other time we've been up here.
Yep.
I think it has to do with them moving it to later March last year for the first time.
Too.
It used to be the first week, now it's the last week. Actually runs into April, but we can't stay that late.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah. In case we haven't mentioned it before, Salem Film Fest is an all-documentary festival. So you guys can look forward to hearing reviews from a number of documentaries when we do our Boston Springs of Festival shows in May.
We are staying at the Salem Waterfront Hotel, which is one of the places in Salem that you can come to when if you come to visit.
Well, they used to only be the only game in town, but they're not anymore. There's a couple of bed and breakfasts, but the Hotel Salem opened last year, a little over a year ago, and it's right downtown, like a block from where we need to be. We're about 3 blocks.
Yeah.
Or 4 blocks.
Well, it's always been the Hawthorne.
Oh yeah, the Hawthorne.
Yeah.
That's not what they call it around here.
Oh.
It's old, it's smelly, it's dingy.
Don't. You've never been there. You don't know
I know.
that.
Rich said it's old and smelly.
Well, yeah.
They have remodeled recently.
They have remodeled, so it might be really nice.
Yeah,
but we love Salem. We'd
live here if we could. I worked here for 2 years, and it's just a great vibe here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you bring your bracelets with you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you can now. You have to do another one so you don't lose your vibe when we leave.
Well,
I don't want you dissolving into tears the second we cross into the lid. Like you always do.
I know.
This place is just a great place to be. We got in this afternoon around 4:30, and then hung out in the room for a minute, got unpacked, got sorted out, and then we headed over to Finn's for dinner. Finn's is always our first night go-to place.
Yeah.
They've moved from one end of Pickering Wharf to the other, where Victoria Station used to be. Beautiful new location.
Yes.
Beautiful inside. I mean, it was great before, but man, it's gorgeous.
It really is.
I'll post some pictures on Instagram.
The views are amazingly beautiful.
Or I will have posted some pictures on Instagram by the time you hear
And
this.
the food at Finn's is always a complete home run.
Yeah, so in case you didn't know it, Finn's, name like Finn's, it's a barbecue joint.
Yeah. Don't mess with people's heads like that.
It's a
nice.
seafood restaurant.
It's a seafood restaurant, but they do have some interesting other dishes, including the BBLT, which is bacon, more bacon, lettuce and tomato, and anything with more bacon on it, you know.
For our dinner this evening, we had we started with the crab nachos, which are lump crab meat spread across homemade potato chips with some delicious, just spicy enough nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese
and pico de gallo. It was delicious. The only thing I would have done is I would have added onion to the mix because I love onion, but I'm an onion fanatic.
I had some Tabico, which is flying fish egg roe. And
not the way that you usually do.
No, not the way I usually do. Usually when I've had Tabico, I've had it where it's wrapped in nori, which is seaweed, and it's delicious, and I love it. This time they brought it to you in a little white dish.
You know what it is?
It's loose.
It might be because you asked for no rice.
It might be.
That might be what you did wrong.
Oh, maybe. Well, it wasn't a question of wrong because it was still delicious.
Yeah, she still sucked it up like a Hoover.
Hoovered it up because I love Tabico. It was different though. TC does not love Tabico.
I don't like sushi. Period.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I love seafood. Main course is always awesome. They got rid of my favorite. I've been getting the lobster mac and cheese the last couple of years, but I instead decided for the stuffed halibut. No, stuffed haddock. Stuffed with crab meat, potatoes and mixed vegetables. Oh my God, that was good. That was so good. With this delicious sherry sauce, basically lobster bisque without the lobster.
You can tell how much we like a meal when we don't talk at all during the meal.
We didn't talk much, no. We were pretty much hoovering up our food.
Yeah, I had a...
All we were taking time to do it.
Oh, yeah. I had a fish sandwich.
You had a fish and chips sandwich with the chips already in the sandwich.
Yes.
But as we found out quickly, it's much easier to take the chips off and eat them that way.
Yeah, because the slice of fish that they give you
is huge.
Is enormous and really, really tasty.
Yeah.
So good. And the fries were delicious. The bread, the roll that they used was amazingly good because it was soft, but not like soft in a runny way.
Yeah.
And it was so good. Everything was so good.
Soft in a runny way?
Soft. It didn't get soft. And
it wasn't soggy.
Yeah, it wouldn't get soggy. That's
right.
the word I want.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't get soggy from the condiments or anything like that and get all kind of where it breaks apart on your
really
fingers
good.
And stuff like that. It was really good.
She tasted my fish and loved it too. And of course,
the Old Bay fries were amazingly good.
Yeah.
And of course,
so that's crabby sticks.
Crabby snacks.
Crabby snacks,
yeah,
basically.
I think. Anybody from Baltimore that wants to tell us we're wrong.
Silver Linings Playbooks, where we found out about that.
Yeah.
Dessert at Finn's is always exquisite. Their creme brulee is to die for.
You had vanilla creme brulee.
Vanilla bean creme brulee with caramel sauce. It was unbelievable. And it's a lot bigger than the one I get at McCormick and Schmick's.
It is. And I had a chocolate chip cookie pie.
Yeah, it was literally a slice of cookie pie.
Yeah. It's
it looked
nice,
really good.
Crisp top, and inside it's all warm and squishy and chocolatey. And
then you have the ice cream on the side.
Ice cream on the
side. But
side.
you didn't even finish. You left a little bit of ice cream.
Yeah, because I was like, if I eat one more thing, I'm going to fall off this chair. And then, so after we ate, we walked over and did a little window shopping.
We went to Popped. Popped is a new popcorn store, gourmet popcorn store. And I was going to look for it anyway, and we knew it was in Pickering Wharf, which is where Finn's is. it turns out it's almost right next door to Fenn's. You know, there's New Eon, which is one of the witch stores, and something else, and then Popped. So we went in there. The two ladies that were in there were characters. We were
really
chatting
nice
with them and got all these different flavors of popcorn. What we ended up getting? Cheddar, peanut butter and jelly. I got a kettle corn, and we got caramel, salted caramel. So we'll try those out and let you know how they are, because you can get them. They do ship nationwide. Popstores.com is their website.
Mm-hmm.
I'd actually checked it out before we came up, because we both love popcorn, so it's like, this is going to be really good. I can't wait to try them. Although I don't think trying them this evening would be a wise thing.
I don't think so.
Because I'm still full from Feds.
I am severely full.
So tomorrow, day one, we will be seeing Midnight Traveler, the opening night film at the Salem Film Fest. This is a film about got raves at Sundance. It's about a filmmaker from Iran who had to go underground with his family when he was targeted by the government. I really can't wait to see this after it got such huge notices at Sundance, and it should be really good. Throughout the week, unusually as it is, there's usually one or two fun movies.
Yeah.
There aren't this year. We didn't really find any. Like $1 Million Duck the one year.
Yeah.
And last year was the Mr. Fish movie.
Yeah, a lot of films that are at the film festival, I mean, they're all documentaries. There are some of them that are usually a little bit more quirky.
Yeah.
You know, but everything sounds like it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they're all also good. The China Love one that you picked is about the closest I think we're going to get to quirky. I'm looking for. The music one might be good too. The Kate. I don't know the name of the lady. I'm not familiar with her at all.
Neither am I. So I don't know. But
I wasn't familiar with Sleaford Mods last year either. Now I have them on my Spotify.
Yeah.
So.
And you still can.
It is interesting that there's no mermaids this year. Nothing like mermaids or the roller derby one they had, or even the record label ones they had. Which is, not to say that there's anything bad. Later in the week, they are running Hail Satan, which was a huge hit at Sundance or Slamdance. I've actually seen it, and we'll be reviewing it later. I saw it on Screener. Kim was uncomfortable with it anyway. The fact that it was Lent, really, so she didn't watch it.
It's really ratcheted up I don't really want to see this movie.
I think we should go visit the Satanic Temple while we're here. I mean, it's based in Salem. Yeah, I'm getting the stare. Are you serious? Look. No,
what part of it's
I'm
not
are you
having
serious.
A problem with?
I'm not serious. That they have. I was disappointed that Love Antosha didn't show up here, which I really want to see, and it better show up at IFFB.
I want to see it too, but also I'm thinking.
I know,
myself,
we're both going to sit there and bawl the entire movie.
Yeah, I don't really want to ugly cry in front of an entire theater of people.
Well, you actually had a sort of cry like that last year at the Wolves thing.
Yes, I did.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't March of the Penguins.
Well, no.
It wasn't. Project NIM.
No.
But
Project NIM was. I was so angry.
I know.
I don't usually rage cry.
Yeah.
She
definitely rage cried at Project NIM.
Yeah. I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I rage cried.
But you happy cried very quietly during Won't You Be My Neighbor, so you probably will be able to manage Love Antosha.
Yeah.
If those of you who don't know, Love Antosha is the documentary put together about Anton Yelchin by his parents and Drake Doremus, who directed him in Like Crazy. And you guys know we were huge fans of his, and we miss him terribly. And it's hard to believe
so
it's been almost 3 years since he passed.
It's so unfair.
It is. But anyway, we're going to start with Midnight Traveler, at opening night, and then there's 3 movies on Saturday, 4 movies on Sunday if we stick with it. Last year we managed to get everything we actually had tickets for in.
Yep.
Usually we blow 1 or 2 of them off. This year we're not doing it. Hopefully we won't do that.
We're telling ourselves we're not doing that. We're going to make it.
But if we do, we do. You know, you never can tell.
Yeah, but the one thing, well, you know, hopefully we'll both feel well enough for that. But the last couple of years, most of the time it's like, well, we're not going to make it, you know, we decide to bow out of stuff because we're freezing our fantails off.
Yeah, because it was...
You know,
2016, it was supposed to be nice weather. We got snow that morning, and it was supposed to last just an hour. By the end of the day, it was still snowing. We had 4 inches on the ground in Salem. It was a bitch to get around. We actually ended up skipping. Did we skip out on the movie? No, we stayed with the roller derby movie was that night.
Yeah.
We stayed for both movies, but we were so starving. We went to the Beer Works afterward, and you were actually able to get something that was able to fit in Lent. For a Friday.
Yeah.
And
well, finding good seafood in Salem is not difficult.
No.
You know,
finding good food, period, in Salem is not difficult.
No.
They have everything here.
It gets kind of difficult to button your pants, but other than that.
Well, I had that difficulty already, so I'm not going to get much worse. Salem is just a really great place to be.
We love the vibe here.
We love the vibe here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, tomorrow we'll probably go spend time around Pickering Wharf. They have a lot of great other shops besides Popped, and I want Kim to go to the antique store because I went over there last year. And
you keep saying you want me to go to this antique store, but I'm going to get in there and I'm going to buy a bunch of stuff, and you're going to go, "Why did you buy that?" You know,
probably
because everybody needs an old-timey gramophone. You know, it's like
you're not going to buy an old-timey gramophone. We have nowhere to put it.
Can I buy a moose head?
They don't have stuff like that.
Well, it's an antique store.
They do, but they have card sets, they have albums, they have memorabilia, entertainment
What's an album,
stuff.
Daddy?
Don't give me that crap. Vinyl's back.
I know.
Vinyl's back, baby. I mean, new albums are being released in vinyl, which they haven't been for years. So
keep pushing that. No, you're right. I'm out. No, I think it is cool. Especially,
it could be worse. We could be talking about Megillah Godzilla. See Fred Flicks on YouTube to find out what we mean.
What is this we? Did you hear me say anything?
I didn't watch it, did I? I didn't watch it either.
Well, I'm surprised you haven't watched it by yourself, just so you can sit there and be like,
I gotta be honest, I love Fred Flicks. Fred is a great guy. We've corresponded. I've donated a couple of times to him because it's really, he does some great nostalgic stuff, which is going to end up probably going away under the new European censorship strangulation, shut down the internet law that was passed the other day.
I don't see why what goes on over there is
because YouTube will get paranoid and block everybody.
Then YouTube should just shut down.
That's the entire point. Yeah, I got hit with a block on one of my top 20s today from WMG for a countdown that's been up for 6 months, and the song itself is in like 12 videos because I got hit and blocked on the September 23rd edition, which was ridiculous because it's been like I said 6 months, and the song they blocked was number 1 on my chart. Charlie Puth's Done For Me. So it's like, or had been number 1 for 3 weeks before that. I don't know, but it's like, are you kidding me? I say right on there, I don't monetize. I don't mind if you monetize. I'm just here to have fun. So it gets irritating. I don't know what's going to happen with our YouTube stuff, especially the Kirkham Report stuff. I think the podcasts are okay, but I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with the Kirkham Report stuff because that just really disappoints me. I had so many quick music quizzes we wanted to start doing and all kinds of stuff, and I don't think that's going to come of it. But I'm not going to get into that. We're here in Salem to have fun, and we're not going to worry about that. So we'll have a full wrap-up of tomorrow evening.
Yep.
We'll probably talk to you tomorrow afternoon, too. We usually do. Because we'll be back from shopping, but before we go eat and go to the show, because it doesn't start till 7 tomorrow night. So, but in any case, we hope you're with us spiritually.
Yep.
Hope you're watching all of our Boston Springs Festival coverage, including not just Salem, but a whole bunch of other festivals. Hey all.
Hi everybody.
We sorry that last one probably got cut off. Didn't realize the battery was low. TC and Kim in Salem.
Yep.
Our
first full day.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, full day is right.
Yes, very full day.
I gotta say, what time we got to bed last night? Well, I fell asleep on the couch at like 9:30. Mm-hmm. And then you got me up and we went to bed about 10:15. Didn't wake up.
No, it was about 10:30.
10:30, and we didn't wake up till, I didn't get out of bed till 7. I usually am up at like 5. And
well, I know I woke up at 4 because I had a major headache.
Kim got out of bed at about 9 and then went back to bed for a little while and got up at 10 so we could go eat. Been a long day. It's a little bit after. It's 11:11 right now in the evening. I'm looking at the clock from over in the bedroom. And we have spent the entire day running around like crazy in Salem.
Yes.
After we had a great breakfast this morning at
in
the
Regatta Pub. Regatta Pub. You had a Western omelet.
Western omelet with home fries and toast and juice and soda. And you had a bagel and cereal.
Yes.
Because it's Friday.
Because it's Friday, no bacon or sausage for me.
Yeah, tomorrow we can fix that.
Oh, yeah.
Then we went to Pickering Wharf. We hung out at Pickering Wharf for about 2 hours or so.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's right next door. Pickering Wharf is... I don't know how to describe Pickering Wharf. It's a little...
It's a little enclave of shops and condominiums, townhouses, I suppose.
Yeah.
Lots of little artist places. It's very eclectic. You can tell they're all like shops that are owned by the people that, it's not like there's no chains in there. There's no Starbucks or Dunks or anything like that.
A couple of little coffee shops, a lot of magic stores. Finn's is there.
Yeah. Well, when he says magic stores, he means pertaining to witchcraft, not like pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Right, yeah. Salem is the witch capital of the world, and
oh, the irony.
Yeah, it is. Well, the girl over at Pop last night said there's some problems now, which I wasn't aware of. Apparently, some of the church people have been having to fit with the witches up here.
Well, there's always going to be people who decide my faith's better than your faith, or you can't practice my faith because it goes against.
So stupid,
you can't practice your faith because it goes against my faith, and it's like
it's just
go
stupid.
Practice your faith over there. They'll go practice their faith over there, and shut up.
So Kim bought a bunch of stuff.
Kim went a little nuts.
Kim bought some jewelry and some rings and some books at Harrison's this evening, and we went to the antique store and she found an opal. No,
Rainbow Moonstone. No, I got this from.
No, that was.
I got that pyramid.
Yeah, you got
that
pyramid.
The other one's a pearl. It's a type of pearl.
That's right,
yeah, it's really pretty. So we went to, where did we start? We
started with Enchanted.
Enchanted, yes, which is very nice.
And then I believe it's actually Enchanted is connected somehow to the first Witch of Salem, Laurie Cabot.
Well, I know that they had pictures of her and also pictures of her daughter.
Right.
Some of the things there were
featuring Laurie Cabot. It actually said on some of the stuff. So I don't know whether that means she's no longer associated with Crowhaven Corner uptown or what, but a lot of her stuff was there. Magic potion stuff, spell stuff.
Yep.
But it had some great pewter and artwork and book section, and it was really
some beautiful sculptures that I was like, I don't really know how we. I'm like, some of it was so beautiful, but I'm like, I really don't know how to explain the big statue of a Minotaur.
No,
I don't really know how we pull that one off. I mean, it wasn't as big as that. I'm assuming that's something someone would put in their garden.
What?
I guess that statue in the other store that we didn't go in of St. Michael the Archangel.
Maybe,
I mean, that was like about so big.
It was huge.
It was.
I would think it was probably for an altar.
Well, yeah, maybe,
or
maybe like I said, or maybe in a garden or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then we went to Salem Dippity.
Yep.
Which is a little Salem tourist attraction store.
Yeah.
Very
lots
nice
of nice
clerk.
things.
And we both bought a ton of stuff there. I bought some bumper stickers, some cute bumper stickers. You bought some cute bumper stickers. I bought a couple of T-shirts. They actually had 3X. I was amazed because I wanted some Salem shirts. So I got one.
I was going to buy myself a ball cap, but I couldn't see any that really like.
Yeah, I didn't like any of the caps. I looked at them too.
Yeah, but you got T-shirts.
I got a T-shirt, one with a black hat on it that says Salem, and the other one has a list of all the victims of the Salem witch trials on it. Like Kim says, not for church.
No.
it was. It's a great little store. I couldn't believe they had my size, which is just really cool. I like 3X because they're too big for me. They're loose, and it helps me to, I like that because I'm way too fat as it is. Where did we go after that? We went to the antique store.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of that particular antique store either. I should have looked it up on my phone. But I went in there last year without Cam and just went nuts. They have records, they have books, they have all kinds of memorabilia, and they have jewelry. Cam bought I did it again.
The ring.
Pearl ring.
Yeah.
There.
They had lots of cool stuff, although definitely I did get that kind of bull in a china shop feeling.
Really?
Well, not because it's cluttered. It's not that it's cluttered.
Because they've actually proven that's wrong on Mythbusters, remember?
Yeah. It's definitely not that the place is cluttered, because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's, organized very nicely and neatly and stuff like that. It's just that my big butt tends to, knock into stuff.
I was a little worried about that, too, myself.
And I'm just kind of like, okay.
Because everything's so tight over there.
Take a deep breath.
It's not like the bookstore downtown used to be.
Yeah. Take a deep breath, go this way. Exhale.
Turn sideways.
Take a deep breath. But the lady that worked there was super nice. And seriously, you weren't kidding. I mean, my gosh.
We could go nuts in there.
Oh, we could go crazy,
easily.
stupid
There's so
nuts
much
in there.
Memorabilia from TV shows. They've got original buttons from the Beatles.
They had all these old,
stuff. They've got
all these old
election
shakers. Buttons and salt and pepper shakers and
everything
jewelry
in that place. It's awesome.
Paintings and.
I could probably spend a day just going through the album section.
I think if I left you alone, you would have spent.
Oh, did that come into the parking lot?
I don't know.
It looked like it came in. We had the windows open. It looked like a cop car just came in the parking lot. After that, we went to. Where did we go after that? We stopped. Oh, I went over to the Bunghole, which is a little liquor store on the corner. Little being the operative word. It's about as big as our foyer.
I can't go in that place because I just looked in the doorway and I was like, claustrophobic attack.
Yeah, it's tiny. No Midori. We were looking for Kim's for Midori.
Yeah. We also sat on a bench and just talked for a while.
We sat on the benches.
There's a lot of benches in Pickering Wharf because it's right there on the water, so it's really just.
I took a picture of the Salem Wharf.
Yes,
ship,
the
Essex.
The plaque.
No, they're going by that way.
Thing that has a thing about the USS Essex, which was a old time boat back in the day.
Tall ship.
Yeah, tall ship. Then they used the name for aircraft carriers in World War II, and that's actually a type of boat, the Essex class. So that was neat. That was some nice history. And we just kind of herped around.
Went to Pyramid, where you bought your new ring and another necklace. And did you buy something else there?
A book.
A book? What? Oh, the book for the crystals.
Yeah.
Right.
Then we came back to the hotel.
I didn't buy anything except serendipity.
Yeah.
We came back to the hotel, relaxed for a while. It was around 2.
Yeah.
Got back around 2. And the movie we saw tonight didn't start till 9 o'clock. So it was kind of hang out at the hotel for a while and just rest, watch TV, diddle around on the computer. And then at 6 o'clock we took off for the evening. We went to Harrison's Comics, which is downtown.
Yep.
Lots of cool stuff in there that I want to look on Amazon for. Because their prices are too expensive.
That place is like, if you have an unlimited credit card and free time and a U-Haul...
Well, they had this thing called the Justice League Silver Age Omnibus Part 1. It was like the first 70... I'm like, I didn't even see how much it was, but man, I'd love to have that. And I want to know if they have those for Legion, too.
This is not a slam on them, because maybe they did have stuff, I just couldn't find it.
It's hard to find, yeah.
Because we all know I'm a moron when it comes to tracking stuff down.
No, that's not fair.
Seriously. Marvel, yes. DC, definitely.
Yeah, they have way less DC than they have Marvel, which is upsetting
Marvel's
to me.
hot right now.
Well, I don't care. I'm a DC. Most of the time. I like Marvel.
Star Trek, Star Wars, Firefly.
She's pissed because there was no Supernatural.
If there was...
There wasn't any Supernatural last year either. You said the same thing.
If there was, I couldn't find it. And trust me, like I said, they had... I looked everywhere. They have Kaiju, Doctor Who...
they had some nice
half-price stuff.
The half-price stuff was in the little room, and they're all out. There's no order to them at all.
Yeah.
They had a couple of the archives books, the DC the really nice archives, but they didn't have ones I was looking for. They had World's Finest and something else, and I had no Legion, no Justice League, so no Teen Titans. Harrison's is just a great place. We also drove by Red Lion on the way up. Red Lion used to be this great big store that had, the Red Lion Smoke Shop is their name. They had all kinds of different tobaccos and stuff, but they also had this huge area with pewter and stuff, huge magazine section, and a huge gaming section.
Yeah, they had a nice RPG
plus
section
a huge adult section in the back.
Yep.
Now they took up like 3 storefronts. Now they've compressed to like half a storefront.
Yeah, and it's
all they have is the
tobacco
counter and the dirty mags.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a magazine thing behind it in there. It's like, okay, well, so much for this place. It used to be really awesome. I used to go there all the time when I worked up here because I could get practically any magazine I was looking for. What's a magazine? After Harrison's, we walked down to. I picked up batteries for this thing at CVS and a notebook and a pen so I could quiz people at the festival, which I didn't get a chance to do. We got to the festival about 8:20.
Yeah.
The movie was at 9. The Q&A for the previous movie was still going on. So we hung out for a little bit, waiting for everything to start. And when we finally got seated, we were treated to the sounds of Vibes the Great. Was that his name?
I think so, yeah.
Rapper. Social justice rapper, warrior. Mm-hmm. Everything's peace, love, and harmony. And then we saw one of this year's big hits at Sundance, and by far the biggest name movie that I'm aware of, other than Hail Satan, at Salem this year, a movie called Midnight Traveler. This movie is utterly devastating. It's Hassan Fazili and his family. He and his wife were both filmmakers, and they lived in Afghanistan. He made a movie about a Taliban commander. The Taliban didn't like it. They killed the commander and put a fatwa out on him and his family.
Yeah.
So he fled to Tajikistan. They rejected him and deported him. So the whole movie was about their journey, leaving Tajikistan, going through Afghanistan, trying to find asylum somewhere. He and his wife and his 2 small children. The oldest daughter looked to be about 9 when they started.
Yeah.
And the little daughter about 2 or 3. Wow. This movie is utterly riveting. And I mean, it's like, how can we still be doing this to people in this day and age? It's like, I mean, the poor little girl, when they were in Bulgaria at a camp, some guy, a gang of people, attacked the family. And the little girl would have been hit if the father hadn't wrapped his hands around her.
So some guy decides
kidding me?
Some guy decides to prove what a big tough man he is.
And then they started protesting, and eventually they forced him out of the camps. Yeah. It's like, are you kidding?
Some guy decides to prove what a big tough man he is by trying to strike a little girl who had done nothing to him.
It's proof positive that there are immigration issues all over the world.
It's even more.
We're not the only country that has immigration problems.
No. It's even more proof positive. All the people who are always, to me, like, well, if aliens exist, why don't they ever make themselves known to us? And I point to stuff like that and go, that's why.
Yeah. It's pretty damn scary. And I mean, it really is just like, are you kidding me? I've got the name here. Wait a minute. Yep, Vibes the Great. That is the guy. Just checking the program. It's an interesting festival to go to anyway, and it's held at Cinema Salem, which is just the coolest cinema on the planet. This cinema, I don't know if we've discussed this before, this cinema's been there for 20 plus years, 30 plus years. When that mall was actually known as the East India Mall, it was run by SAC Theaters until they went bankrupt, and then AMC took it over. When AMC closed it sat there closed for a few months, and then Entertainment Cinemas came in and took it over for a while. And then when they closed it, 2 or 3 years later, a man named Paul Van Ness stepped up, a local man, and transformed it into one of the North Shore's premier art houses. They usually play 2 or 3 popular movies, and they have smaller films in their screening room. Plus, they do some local Salem stuff about the witch trials and stuff like that every day in the screening room also. Paul is a sweet guy. We've met him a number of times, and I've had correspondence with him over the years. And it's just a great place to see a film. I do wish they would update a bit. They still have the original seating from 30 years ago, and it would be nice if they took the time to upgrade to larger seats, if not the recliners, but because they're a little uncomfortable for people who are as big-boned and portly as we are. But it is a great... the vibe for the Salem Film Festival is always top-notch. That's why we come every year. We've been here every year but one since 2013. And it's always fun to come up and watch these documentaries. We have a full slate tomorrow. We have 3 movies tomorrow and 4 movies scheduled for Sunday. And it's going to be... Tomorrow we actually have time to eat. Sunday we may not.
Well, we'll work it out.
Yeah, there's always Essex. We can go to Essex really quick. Essex Pizza. Essex New York Pizza in what is now Witch City Mall. It was eCinema Mall, then it was Museum Place Mall, now it's Witch City Mall. And when they say mall, that's being kind. It's actually an enclosed... Were there ever any chain stores in there that you can remember?
No.
It's always been local, except for the theater. It's always been local merchants with local stores. There's 2 or 3 cafes in there. There's a place where you go and dress up and they take your photo. There's several witchcraft stores, T-shirt shop. The Toy Museum wasn't there.
Oh, you're right.
Oh my gosh.
No, wait, no, hold it.
Hold
it. No, the Toy Museum is where Silver Moon Comics is now.
No. It was next door. It's between Witch City and Silver Moon.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I don't think it was there.
I don't know.
Silver Moon Comics, there are 2 people that run that place. They're just a hoot to talk to. And maybe they'll help me find my Hellcow stuff. Has Kim told you I'm obsessed with Hellcow?
You're not going to give this up, are you?
Nope.
To the rest of the world, I introduced him.
I just like the way it rolls off the tongue.
To the rest of the world, I introduced him to this character.
You didn't mean to. We were watching a top 10 of Marvel's most unusual characters. And it popped up on there, and I became a bit obsessed. I was like, are you kidding? And now I'm obsessed with Hellcow.
I'm so sorry, rest of the world. I really didn't think this was going to happen.
So tomorrow we have 3 more films. I'm not sure. Let me take a real quick look at what I got to look at the schedule. I have here. How long have we been up today? Plus, I'm trying to cover all the film festivals on the website this weekend because we have 4 of them going on. Salem started today, Wicked Queer started yesterday, Turkish is ongoing, and Real Ability started on Tuesday. Tomorrow, Saturday, we are seeing The End of Fear, Witkin and Kate Nash Underestimate the Girl. And those are what we have scheduled for Saturday. And then Sunday, we are scheduled to see... I'm just looking here we actually were... They've expanded to several theaters in the local areas in Peabody and Salem, Beverly. And we were going to try and, catch the shuttles they had. But when we finally sat down, it was like, no, let's just stay in Salem. Even though we've never been to the Cabot. Sunday, we're seeing China Love, Silver Branch, Balian the Healer, and False Confessions. And those are going to be the final ones, and then we'll head home on Monday morning. Because we never can afford to stay for the whole thing. I'd love to be able to stay for the whole thing, which is, a way of covering really, I'd love to do a lot more coverage than we do, but we do pretty good, I think. We give Salem almost a whole show on the Boston Springs the Festival podcast, so because we're always here.
Yep.
And we'll have hopefully 8 reviews when we get done, and it'll be fun. But for now, it's 11:30. We've been yakking for 20 minutes, and it's time to go to bed.
Yes, it is.
Wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Hey guys.
Hi, everybody.
It's Saturday.
It is.
March 30th. We're in Salem.
Yes. Still?
A long, long day.
Long day, but lots of fun.
Yeah. But a long, long day.
Yes, a long, long day. That's very true.
We're at Salem Film Festival 2019. Salem Film Fest 2019. They always tell you, don't say Film Festival. Salem Film Festival is Salem, Oregon.
Yep.
Salem Film Fest is Salem, Massachusetts. It's been a long day. We were out. We left the hotel at 10 o'clock this morning, got back at 10 o'clock this evening. A hotel room.
Yeah.
We went downstairs for breakfast first.
Yep. Had another delicious breakfast at the pub in the hotel.
Yeah.
Actually could have bacon today, so I did.
Yeah.
And it was
their
awesome.
bacon here is great.
And actually tried something I haven't never tried before, and I was like, I'm going to try some of this. I have tried orange marmalade. I've actually never had orange marmalade in my life, and it's really tasty. I'm like, glad I tried it, you know.
Yay. After we ate, we called our cab to take us up to Peabody Essex Museum to start our first of 3 films today. The first of 3 films was called The End of Fear. You're going to have to tell us a little bit about that, because I was having my usual problem with Peabody Essex. Right after eating, I was zoning out about 60% of the time for this movie. So,
yep.
Just give us a quick brief rundown.
Well, this apparently happened back in the 80s.
Yeah.
A piece of art was attacked by a person at an art gallery. The piece of art was called Who's Afraid of Red, Blue, and Yellow?
Green, wasn't it? Green,
no.
Blue?
Red, blue, and yellow.
Oh, that was red, green, and yellow. Okay.
No.
Number 3. That's third.
There's
a 3 at the end of that.
Yeah, third, yes. Who's Afraid of Red, Green... Now you got me doing it. Red. Who's Afraid of Red, Blue, and Yellow 3? Basically, this picture was a canvas that was almost completely painted red. It was red, and there was one little stripe of blue, and if there was yellow on there, I couldn't see it, but that doesn't mean anything. And one day, this man showed up at the art gallery and slashed this picture. Just walked up and cut it, and that, led to all kinds of craziness and they decided to try and restore the painting, because these people said they could fix it to exactly the way it was before this attack, so on and so forth, and it just snowballed into this enormous mess. It was really interesting, especially since, art is what it is. What's one person's art is another person's. My 5-year-old could do that.
I thought art was on the train.
Oh, stop it.
With the octopus.
Would you please stop it? They're not going to get that.
I know they're not.
Which is the whole reason you said it.
Yep.
It was really interesting. I mean, I enjoyed it. I was like, what the heck? It's really something. There was really something to see.
There's something else I want to bring up, and this has been bugging me all weekend. It started last night and started today. I'm going to write to the International Documentary Association, because I pay membership dues in that, and I'm fed up with white subtitles on white backgrounds. I'm swearing, I couldn't read half the subtitles on Midnight Traveler yesterday for that reason, and there was the same problem with this End of Fear today.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
I know.
It makes it impossible. And even though it looked to me like you said some of them had outlines, you said that you didn't really think they did.
It wasn't that they were outlines, it was just that the words were in front of someone wearing dark clothing or something to that effect. It wasn't a border to highlight it.
After that movie was done, we headed into Essex, New York Pizza at the Witch City Mall, grabbed some fries. We only had about an hour. Before we ate, though, we went shopping. We went to Witch Tees, but they didn't have any film festival T-shirts in my size. I take 3X. They only go up to 2X. They looked big, but they didn't look like they'd actually fit. And she was really nice and agreed with me on that. So
yeah, they didn't try to sell you something that was too small.
And she said, like, yeah, you'll probably need 3X. And I'm like, yeah. And then we went to Silver Moon. We both bought a book.
Yep.
I bought a DC Comics complete character book, and she bought a Batman Detective Comics set.
Mm-hmm.
Silver Moon, unfortunately, what the hell? Sorry, we got the TV on. An Easter a chocolate bunny making out with a jar of Reese's peanut butter for their egg commercial this year. They did not have any Hellcow merchandise at Silver Moon. I'm so disappointed. I want some Hellcow merchandise. They didn't.
Maybe you should get a letter campaign going to get Hellcow included in the MCU.
Well, she already is. They mentioned her in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a few years ago.
Right.
So she's already technically part of the MCU.
All right.
And now that Deadpool is coming into the MCU, now that Fox has been absorbed by Disney, who knows?
Who knows?
So after we shopped, we went over to Essex, like I said.
Yeah, got some fries.
Had some fries and a soda, just hung out for an hour. And then we headed over to Cinema Salem for the second of 3 films today. Witkin and Witkin.
Mm-hmm.
2 artist brothers.
Yeah, one is a celebrated painter, the other is a celebrated photographer.
They're identical twins, and they have barely seen each other or spoken since they were in high school because they just had different lives to go through.
Yeah. It's not like it's from the sound of it, it's not like there was some big blow up or something.
Well, it does sound like Joey was a little jealous of Jerry's overpraised by certain people when he was in high school, but
but what I'm saying, it doesn't sound like there was one thing. It sounded like it might have built up or something like that. But it's really interesting how you had 2 people who live in different environments, completely different environments, but still had some things that were the same. You know, just that they were just, even though they were far apart, the ties of genetics or fate or however you want to word it. I really enjoyed it.
Gerard was here for a long Q&A. It was very informative and fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took a few minutes off and then went back into Cinema Salem for the 3rd film of the day, and one that we both really loved.
Yep.
Kate Nash, Underestimate the Girl.
Yep.
I had not heard of Kate Nash before.
No.
Apparently she's quite a big star in the UK.
Yeah.
And actually somewhat of a big star here in America. But I was really
for people in the know who apparently, sadly, neither of us were.
I consider myself in the know in music, but I did not know her.
Well, so that's the thing. I was like, well, if you don't know her, then I'm like, what the heck? But, seriously, she's
been around for over a decade, so it's pretty sad.
Yeah. Her story is incredible, amazing, frustrating, infuriating, and at the end of it, she's a person that does what she wants to do.
Kate is a regular on the Netflix series Glow, which is about the glorious ladies of wrestling back in the 1980s. Not quite the same,
sort
but
of,
almost.
Kind of.
Yeah. Emmy Award winning. Emmy nominated last year.
And I have to be perfectly honest. I said this to you at dinner after the show. If I had a teenage daughter I would definitely want her listening to Kate Nash. I would really, really be like, you have great taste in music.
Yeah, some of her stuff was kind of male bashing, but she had reasons to be doing that.
Yeah, considering the things that have happened to her life, she has every reason to be.
But the lyrics are very girl power oriented and really good. And I mean, the first thing we did when we came out was find her on Spotify and look her up. And she's out there. And then
look up Kate Nash on Spotify.
The movie will be out later this summer and should be really interesting. After that,
we were going to go to the Boston Burger Company for a post-movie nosh, but they were entirely too crowded. Oh my God,
they were jammed, and I mean, they were completely full, and they had several people waiting outside.
Yep.
So we walked down.
That won't work.
We walked down the street to the new place called the Derby. They took over where Tavern on the Square closed a few months ago. And the food was delicious. It was a bit weird because they carded us going in, but I guess it's under 21, over 21 only after 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I was kind of thinking to
myself. Trust me, I don't look
under
under 21.
And neither do I.
No.
Well, since neither of us drink, I was almost going to say, well, we don't plan to drink, but I mean, I'm sure they get that a lot. Yeah. So we just showed our,
Yeah, just pull the IDs out, let them scan it. He was like, okay, folks, you can go in. I'm like, okay.
And then we went. I got a burger. You got...
I got a prime rib dip, which is a French dip with prime rib. Substituted.
Considering the way we both sucked it up, food.
We hadn't eaten a big meal since breakfast. That's why.
Yeah.
And it was
like
delicious.
Oh, they're gone.
It was delicious. The fries were a bit. My fries tasted like they had cayenne or something on them occasionally.
You said that. Mine tasted fine.
I had a few little hot spots. Oh, they tasted great.
No, I mean I didn't have that taste, so I don't know. And it was a quick walk down the street. Managed to get into Safeway. Thank you to the Safeway guy.
Did it again. Speedway.
Sorry.
Safeway is a grocery chain in the West Coast.
Sorry. Thank you to the Speedway guy that let us come in, run in, grab a couple of sodas and a chocolate.
I didn't know they closed at 10. I thought they were open 24
hours.
Grab
a soda and a chalky and run out.
Yeah.
So then we come back to the hotel. So we come back to the hotel, and TC stays outside for a few minutes, and he's like, do you want to wait for me down here or go up to the room? Now, the other times when we've done this, it's kind of our routine before the end of the evening.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, I'll go wait inside for you.
I told her you could go up to the room, and
because
she's like, no, I'll just wait in the lobby.
Yeah, the Salem Waterfront Hotel, it's not that I don't feel safe walking around in the hotel, because I do.
Yeah.
But the Salem Waterfront Hotel has a lovely...
Salem Front Water?
I'm tired. They have a lovely lobby, very comfy chairs, and a nice fire. Usually, although the fire was turned down, I noticed.
Yeah.
It's one of those gas fires, I think.
Yeah, it's gas. And it's kind of warm out, so you probably didn't really need it.
Yeah, although that wind was cold.
Yeah.
When the wind picked up, it was cold.
Yeah.
So the thing is, there's something going on.
It's an after party for a wedding. I spoke yesterday.
We think.
Well, no, I know, because
Okay.
they told me it was here. When I talked to the mother of the bride and the bride yesterday, just ran into them outside and we were discussing things, and it was, people talk about that, very friendly up here, and talk when they see somebody, oh, hey, what are you in town for,
Yeah. So there were a lot of people in the lobby.
It was so full, I could barely get there. And they were all standing in front of the elevator with no cause to reason that people might need the elevator.
Yeah.
I'm
and
like, oh
I don't do well in crowds.
No.
I mean, I do. No, I tell a lie. I do okay in crowds if it's an outside crowd.
Right.
An inside crowd,
especially in the lobby, which isn't that big to begin with.
No, the lobby's not that large, and these people were all extremely loud.
Yeah.
Or at least it seemed that way because it was a small room.
They were extremely loud.
And it was like, okay, we need... And I'm like looking at him. You finally come in, and I'm looking at you like, get me out of here.
And I walked around the back. I said, come on. I pointed to the elevator, and you didn't even budge. You just sat there.
Well, yeah, because I was like, how?
Stand up and push your way through. That's what I did. I had to come over to your chair, take the tote bag with our stuff in it, and push our way through, and then push our way into the elevator because the stupid standing there wouldn't move. Excuse me! It's just like I have common courtesy, people.
Really? So we're now back in the room.
And getting ready for bed. Tomorrow we have an even busier day. We have 4 films to see.
Yes.
A little bit tighter schedule, too. We'll see.
Well, that's a good thing. Then we were not, waiting around bored.
Oh, yeah.
Because one thing about
we'll get stuck with crappy seats for the one show. We'll see.
Well, the one thing about the Witch City Mall, that while we both like the mall...
we told you last night what the mall's like. We
Yeah.
told you on one of the other recordings.
Well, one thing we neglected to mention was the fact that they've taken all the benches away.
Yeah. They used to
I don't know
have. They
why.
used to only have 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they have.
Probably because kids, they do all the ones up here. Cape Cod is nice. Cape Cod Mall has benches everywhere. You go to, anywhere in our area now, all of them are gone. They don't have them. They took all of them away at Square One, except the ones at the very end of the where the entrance doors are, and they took all the ones away at here. They had 2 or 3 of them here, and there's nothing left here.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why.
They're trying to make more space with the kiosks that they can't rent, that are sitting there empty. It's like, okay.
But that's our day.
Yep.
So.
And tomorrow's our final day here, and we'll be back with another report tomorrow night.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys.
Hi.
It's Sunday night,
It is.
March 31st, just a few hours away from April Fool's Day. I'm TC.
Yep. I'm Kim.
And we did it 8 films in 3 days.
Woohoo!
We are done with the Salem Film Fest at this point.
Yes.
We'll continue coverage, and I'm going to write for some screeners for the stuff we couldn't get to.
Yes.
And I already saw Hail Satan, which was
Yes,
showing
you
today
did.
at the
Which
Coolidge.
I gotta be honest.
At the Coolidge, at the Cabot.
I gotta be honest. That is one movie I kept here when we would you would go off and do something else, and I would just sit there and wait for you in the cinema, usually because it was cold.
Right.
Everyone I heard walking by, I really want to see that. Blah 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 blah.
It's a great movie. It got great reviews at Sundance, and I wish you'd watch it once Lent is over. I mean, it's an interesting movie. We saw 4 films today.
Yes.
First off, though, we started off by getting out of bed.
I don't think they need all the details.
And then we got dressed. And then I went online for a few hours.
Really? We're not doing this.
Okay, we're not doing that.
So we went downstairs to the Regatta Pub for breakfast. As always, it was super nice, and they're always very nice and friendly down there. And
tomorrow we get to have a big breakfast because we have to be at the theater.
Yep. Because the problem is they really do serve really great breakfast, but we both figured out a trick this time while we're up here. Don't get a big breakfast before you go to a movie, because then you'll fall asleep.
I need candy. Something to give me energy, because I always zone out during the first movie. We saw 2 movies at the Peabody Essex Morse Auditorium, and then 2 movies at Cinema Salem.
Yes.
And it was fun.
It was.
We started off with a movie called China Love, which I've got to admit, this was Kim's pick. I wasn't sure about it. And it is a fascinating look at Chinese culture and marriage.
Yes.
Particularly their fascination. I don't know why I have my glasses on.
This is a new thing. A newer thing. Let's go with newer.
Particularly with their fascination with what's known as pre-wedding pictures. They take them 6 months ahead of time.
4 to 6 months ahead of the wedding.
And they can cost anywhere from $2,000 to $400,000, depending on what they're doing.
Yep.
I'm like, how do these people that live in middle class China, not all the rich people like the guy that owns this company, how do they afford that? I mean, they do photos underwater. They do, in their tuxes and their dresses, and they do. I was like,
and you
what
can
the hell?
you can basically look like a Disney princess if you want to, if that's your deal.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting. Well, the thing that I found the most interesting was the part of the film dealing with people of an older generation, people who survived the Cultural Revolution of Mao Zedong, and these people were talking about how when they got married, they didn't have wedding photos for the most part. All they had was like this little passport job of a photo that showed they were married.
Plain clothes.
Yeah, they had to be. They couldn't smile in the pictures. They just,
Well, they probably could have. They just didn't, because a lot of those were arranged marriages. A lot of these still are arranged marriages.
Well, yeah.
Although that one, I felt so sorry for that American kid that got sucked into this. He was just, he was nice, but
he must really love her.
Yeah, he does. You could tell that because he was underwater with her for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
The older folks having their pre-wedding pictures 50 years after they were married, 65 years after they were married.
Oh, I
was
cried.
So sweet. I did too.
Cried.
Sweet.
It was really sweet.
It's a great movie. Hopefully it'll get seen by a larger audience than just a festival circuit. The second movie we saw today was a movie called The Silver Branch. It, as of just today, won American Cinematography Magazine's
Grand Prize
for Best Cinematography in a documentary.
Yep.
The director was home in England and got the Ireland and got the message and sent across the note that she was, because it's Mother's Day over there.
It's what they call what they call in the UK, what we call in America Mother's Day, which we celebrate in May.
We didn't really need to explain this.
Yeah,
but
okay. They call it over in the United Kingdom. Well, I'm just trying to be thorough. They call it Mothering Sunday, and they celebrate it in March.
Daughters get left out in the cold on that day. I said that earlier. We had this anyway.
Do we have to do the whole every day is Children's Day thing again?
No.
All right.
I got to admit, this movie would have been a lot more enjoyable if I could understand it.
The Irish accents
hell
are
of
a
a
bit
time. Oh, the one guy talked like the Geordie guy in the Danger Mouse cartoons. I couldn't understand a word he was saying, and the other guy was not that much better, and they didn't have subtitles.
No,
I think they should have. The photography is beautiful, and it's a true story, and it was it's kind of a tough story about living off the land and having to battle for that land with corporations that want to build
with the government basically deciding, well, we're going to take your land and put a big tourist center on it so we can make money.
Yeah, it was
basically
really
that's what it was.
Yeah, so we saw that one. We saw both of those at PBDS6. Then we rushed over to Cinema Salem only to find out we didn't have to rush because I had the time wrong. I thought it was at 4:30 and it was at 5. A movie called Balian, which is
Balian means the healer.
The healer.
Yes.
It is from an American photographer, filmmaker, Andrew McNeil.
I think that might be it. I'm not sure.
Look it up for me. He and his wife were there along with the editor for a Q&A. This movie was so good. I wasn't sure about this one either. Ken picked most of the movies this year. I only had real input on 2 of them, and I wanted to know what she wanted to see, and I'm like, yeah, these are good ones. But I wasn't sure about China Love. I actually wanted to see Dive, but we'll see if we can get a screener for that one.
I can't find it on the IMDb.
Huh?
I can't find it on the IMDb.
Yeah, it's not on the IMDb, but look it up on your general thing. It will come up. I think it's got a Wikipedia page. It's an amazing film about a man in Bali who is a Balian. He's a healer. His story was told by, as he put it, he went over, this kid had been in Bali when he was a little kid, learned a little bit of the language, went back over looking to create a film, wanted to become a filmmaker, and had read about this gentleman in a magazine about shaman.
Yeah, the shaman. It was about New Age
that was
healers
written by an American who was a midwife over in Bali, and he was a character,
he was.
and a half, and Dan, the cameraman, was quite involved, spoke the language well, ended up finding medical people to actually come in and see the people in the Balian's village, and ended up falling in love and marrying her.
Yeah.
It was really something. It was a great film.
It was really, really interesting.
I was really impressed with that. I didn't know what.
I can't find it right.
Okay,
So
well,
sorry.
we'll have the full information when we do the full
sorry.
show. And it was just so sweet and so full of love. I mean, here was a guy who was he was convinced he was called to be a Balian by ending up swallowing a leech at some point.
Yeah.
When he was a younger man.
The leech crawled into his jumped in his mouth, jumped in his head and jumped in his mouth or something.
Right, and because of that, he could do these great things, healing things. Mm-hmm.
But he said it wasn't him; it was the leech.
The leech doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a man who was licking leprosy wounds.
Yep.
And never getting sick, and actually helping these people.
Yep.
It was fascinating. He did the same with a man with AIDS, who. Although
he was HIV positive.
Well, he was HIV positive, but he still survived and is not. All this happened in 95, 96, 97.
Yeah.
Because the filmmaker went back and put this all together. He's still with us and still going strong, even though the Balian actually put his mouth on the guy's penis.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, you're going to do that with someone who has AIDS or HIV. They didn't say he had that. That's not what happened.
I know. It's...
it does have sort of a tragic story ending, but it's still happy. I can't wait for this film to come into, to hopefully find a distributor and get out there, because it is a charmer that everyone is going to love, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
We finished up the evening with a movie that infuriated us so much it was scary. A movie called False Confessions.
Yeah, kind of put a pall on the rest of the...
Not really.
Well...
It was looking at a lady who goes back and tries to get court cases overturned because these confessions were coerced. Mm-hmm. They're able to prove that the confessions were coerced. And the technique, they showed the techniques the cop used on the one kid, Lorenzo.
Yeah.
14 years old, ended up spending 14 years behind bars for a crime he did not commit, because they just badgered him and badgered him and badgered him and badgered him until he finally confessed. They're suing, and the cops are claiming qualified immunity. I read a lot about qualified immunity because there's Timothy Geithner, I think his name is, covers police stuff for Tech Dirt, and I've read a lot of stuff of his, and a lot of cops that's their defense, because apparently in a lot of the world it's illegal for the police to lie to you. Here it was approved by the Supreme Court. I don't know what case it was, but I'd love to find out,
right,
because that's just not right.
I don't understand how that's right. I really don't.
That makes me want to become a crusader for I never wanted to become a social justice warrior until tonight. I'm so pissed about this thing with the cops that
holy guacamole!
I know cops that are good people, but if they operate with those tactics behind, because the jury and the judges, they never see the tactics that the cops use.
Right.
They have this whole they have this whole kid's whole thing on video, the entire session, so they were able to break it down with one of her experts, the legal lady's experts. And I was sitting there, I was just my blood was boiling faster and faster and faster. One of the subjects of the film has since passed away.
That's what they were saying.
Which really sucks, because he was totally innocent.
Yeah.
And he was only in his late 20s. And it's like, are you kidding me?
I thought that's what they said as I was leaving.
I'll double check it, but that's what we believe that was said. This is a must-see film. Mm-hmm. People need to see this, and we need to start working on police reform. Part of the problem with the police in the country right now is the fact that so many politicians will let them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And it's time the people stood up and said, enough of this. We need to get this under control.
It's like when people talk about the whole body cam thing.
Yeah. Oh, cops hate body cams.
Yeah. It's like, well, if you weren't doing something wrong, why would you have a problem with a body cam? We have to have
and it's
cameras.
mysterious how they always get shut off or malfunction right at the point where they're needed.
I mean,
Curious that, especially in the big cities like New York.
We have to be subjected to cameras when we go into stores, when we go into, not every public place, but for the most part, when you go into a store, when you go into a police station, if you go into a municipal building, there's a camera on you until you leave.
There's right now, California just passed a law that forces police departments to disclose all their records to the public. They have to be available to the public for all for all cases of abuse or whatever.
I don't if the police have been accused of abuse. Okay,
cases in the past.
Right.
All this they're open to transparency.
Right.
This was happened in late December. The police unions are fighting it in court. Every court that they've hit has so far turned them down. The state attorney general is trying to tell people, no, it's not retroactive, when the lawmakers who made the law said, yes, it is. To their point, already, just this past couple of days, Tim has had a report up about how Modesto police have had a number of these records released to the Modesto Bee, the paper out there. They found a cop who was citing sober people for DUIs to get credit for them. Won an award from Mothers Against Drunk Drivers for doing it.
Who has been fired. He
has been fired. A number of other cops that were not matching up what they were saying with what was actually happening. Mm-hmm. It's time. I know I actually knew some cops when I lived in Lancaster. A lot of them were friends because I worked the third shift, and cops on a third shift in a convenience store is a good idea. Mm-hmm. It still didn't stop a cop from getting killed during a robbery one night.
No.
Lancaster's first police death in over 70 years. It was sobering watching this.
Yeah.
And knowing. I mean, I knew a guy on the police force in Lancaster who was relatively new that said he became a cop just so he could do what he had to do when he needed to do it. And he had a gun and a nightstick. That's not why you should become a cop.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way to word that.
It's just really, I don't understand why people... When I was little, I was always told the policemen are your friend.
Yep.
But that changed in the 1960s when there were so many, college riots and stuff. And it changed a lot. Mostly started in the Johnson administration, but really changed under Nixon and just continued to degrade from there.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a new national look and national laws. The cops are trying to get these new Blue Lives Matter laws into place where they can't be touched no matter what they do, because they're getting tired of getting sued over innocent people getting shot.
Yeah, it's like, well, maybe if the police hadn't declared open season on young unarmed black men...
Well, see, they say that these unarmed black men are open season on them. They're saying it's open season on cops. And, I mean, it's really getting to the point where it's ridiculous.
And there's a war on Christmas, too.
There is?
That's my point.
Yeah. Well, it's getting better. Anyway, this is a touchy subject.
It's a very touchy subject. No,
I'm not saying that there aren't good cops out there.
Oh, there definitely are.
It said 10% of the cops are the ones that make the other 90% look terrible.
Absolutely.
Also, detectives should not be able to coerce confessions like that.
That whole lying
I think that becomes entrapment.
No, that whole lying to people...
It would have been like the DeLorean case.
That whole lying to people and all that stuff, that needs to go. That needs to be bounced. That is not right.
It would take an act of Congress to do it, and they're not going to do it now. You'd need a fully Democratic Congress, and even then you might not get it through. So it's like...
So anyway, that was the last movie we saw, and we both left feeling pissed off and angry and hungry.
And we walk down to Rockefeller's, and we go in there. They're supposed to be open till 11:30. Oh, the kitchen's closed. It's like 10 after 9.
Yeah, well, they're open.
20 after 9. Yeah,
the
bar's open.
The bar's open, but the kitchen isn't. So we were
thankfully,
like,
Boston Burger Company was able to let us in and feed us, and
yes,
gave them an extra large tip because of it.
Yeah, because they were super nice and weren't like upset that we showed up, and they
20
gave
minutes
us,
before they were ready to close.
Yeah, and they gave us really tasty food, and they were all super duper nice. So if you come up to Salem for anything, go to Boston Burger Company because they'll treat you right.
Boston Burger Company. Yeah, excuse me. Boston Burger Company is good anywhere. You can get them in Boston, Cambridge, Salem, and
we've never
Brooklyn.
been. We still haven't been to the one. We've only been to the one in. Now we've been to the one here, and we've been to the one in
Cambridge because it's easiest. No, Somerville.
Somerville.
The one in Somerville is easy to get to. There is one in Cambridge that we can't get to. There's one in Back Bay, which we haven't, and they only have bench seats.
Yeah.
And there's one downtown somewhere.
Well, to be perfectly honest, if I get a burger that good, I'm willing to stand up and eat it.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not. You would have all kinds of fits. And in all honesty, as much as we love them, give equal love to Cacades, which is also a great place. Cacades Burger Barn, which they have in Hyannis and Quincy. We haven't been to the Quincy one, but the Hyannis one is awesome.
Yes.
We've been there twice, and their food is amazing.
Because it is a lot colder than we thought it was going to be, and neither of us packed our big coats for this jaunt up to Salem.
Well, it was supposed to. We knew it would get cold tonight.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was going to get that cold.
Well, it's not that cold. It's just the wind is that cold.
The wind is cold.
The wind is blowing.
Called an Uber, and a very nice person came and picked us up and brought us back to the hotel.
So we're here and waiting to head home tomorrow. We have a couple more days off work before we go back to work. A couple more days off before we go back to work. I have kind of redundancy there. And so we have to stay up a little bit later to let our food digest. And we don't have acid reflux attack, which I've been prone to lately, overnight. I eat too late. And tomorrow we'll get to go down and have a big breakfast and go home and enjoy ourselves for a couple of days and just relax.
Yep.
And then it's back to work.
Yep.
Salem's over for another year. No. We still have two.
But Salem actually isn't over. It's over for us, but the festival.
Salem Festival actually runs through Thursday.
Yes.
And
so if you have to come to Salem for anything, or
they won't hear this by that point. But you know.
Well, you should come to Salem anyway because it's awesome.
Well, we know you won't actually hear it before the end of the fest.
Yeah. But to everybody else who's still attending the festival, we hope you have a great time. Had a great time.
We did run into our friend Carolyn, who's a member of Clotrudis.
Hey.
She's volunteering. We were wondering if we were going to see her because we usually see her every year, and this is her first year as a volunteer, and we ran into her after.
That was a surprise. I was like, wow.
Yeah, Salem's just a great festival. The people are great. The music interludes between
the music is different.
Are questionable sometimes, but
well, the people who listen to it seem to enjoy it, even though.
Well, the girl last night was good. The guy tonight was good, but that group last night was just. I called them avant-garde in my Instagram post. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Wasn't my cup of tea.
No, but
because it was a non. It was. I leaned back because we sit. Cinema Salem still has old style seating, and they don't have stadium seating either. It's the old sloping floors because they haven't redone them since they were done.
Yeah.
So we've been sitting. I've been sitting a row ahead of her. We've been sitting in front and behind of each other.
We found out that for me and my limited mobility issues, the aisle seat works.
Yeah,
best.
and not only that, I get squished if I don't. So we both get squished.
Yeah, and I didn't have that. I didn't have that problem with my legs tonight.
What problem?
Or last night either.
Oh yeah, the one you had the other night when we were sitting together. Yeah, if we don't have to sit together, we do much better.
Yeah.
I leaned back to her last night when this avant-garde group were on stage, and I said, it's like going to a Fish concert. The song never ends. Because we were sitting there for 20 minutes, and the song played the entire time.
Yeah.
It's this jazzy improvisation thing with some kind of a recorder and a trombone and a drum, a bass guitar.
Yeah.
And the guy that did the flutophone.
Or whatever
also
it is.
did some chants with it. He's the musical director for the festival too. And it's like, okay, 20 minutes of this was just a little too avant-garde for my taste.
Well, yeah.
But
that's because you're a square.
And then earlier today we saw another band that admits they don't know what they're doing. They're just up there having fun. Well, and a lot of what they were doing,
unbridled honesty.
They had a very odd combination because the lyrics didn't match the style of music they were doing. The lyrics were kind of bluesy, but they were playing klezmer music, basically.
Well, it sounded like that.
It sounded very klezmer influenced, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. But to each his own. And one guy actually got up, man, you guys are great. Where are you going to be next time? I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, yeah, to each their own.
I know. So that's going to do it from the Salem Film Fest for 2019. Well, I'm yawning. I'm sorry. Oh man, wake up! It's only 10:30 at night. We'll hopefully have a lot more. We still have a lot of Boston Springs the Festival to go. At the time we're recording this, they're still right now going on. Salem continues for another few days. Turkish goes one more week starting in Thursday. Wicked Queer is continuing for the next week, and
Real Abilities is done.
Real Abilities is through April 3rd.
Okay.
And then next week, April 11th through the 17th or the 15th is the Boston International Festival, International Film Festival, and finally at the end of the month, the biggie, the big granddaddy of all the ones in the springtime, the Independent Film Festival Boston, which is the you gotta say it is like the biggest of them.
Is Boston Underground still going on, or is
Boston Underground was over 2 weeks ago. It only goes Wednesday through Sunday.
Okay, sorry.
Underground's done. Irish only did one night, but they did two other shows that weren't part of the festival that were, if that makes any sense. They weren't actually officially, they were just co-sponsoring their screenings at Kendall and Coolidge, I think. Or they may have both been at Kendall. You got me all confused, woman.
Sorry.
Stop that.
Sorry.
So anyway, we will have all of this coverage for you. The last 2 weekends in May, when we present our, we'll probably do it as a double feature weekend to get it all in. But it might be the last 2 weeks in May. It might be the last week in May on both Saturday and Sunday. But we will have a 2-part Boston Springs the Festival 2019 with all the details and all the shows. This will be a part of that probably, or maybe the week before, just to prep you, and we'll go from there.
Yep.
Until we see you next time.
I'm Kim.
I'm TC.
Bye.
Bye.
You have been listening to Subject Cinema with hosts T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Subject Cinema is produced by PNRNetworks, Boston, Massachusetts, which is solely responsible for its content. Subject Cinema theme performed by Eric Lyon. Subject Cinema is recorded and produced using Sony Vegas products. Subject Cinema is copyright 2018 by PNRNetworks under a Creative Commons license. Check out a new episode of Subject Cinema every weekend. Until next time, this is Bob Taylor for Subject Cinema, and we'll see you at the movies.
That's all.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.